The Scottish Resistance can be a pretty resource-heavy weapon. All those bombs you need to output means more reloading, which means more ammo eaten through. But what if you had to work with limited resources? I wanted to challenge myself to use the Scottish Resistance on limited resources, with some help using the first strange weapon I ever got, the Persian Persuader. Watch as the reserve ammo drops from 36 down to 7. Which, I mean, the barrel on the SR is probably more suited to hold 7 reserve bombs versus 36. How is this thing holding 36 bombs? Then again, how does the barrel fit any bombs in it? Anyhow, let's go on a journey through several games I played with this loadout and see what we can learn from those games. To the surprise of no one, you need to become more reliant on ammo suppliers. With a grand total of 15 bombs to work with before needing to resupply, it gives you the chance to output all 14 bombs with 1 in reserve. But if you factor stuff like sticky jumping and misplacing bombs, you're gonna eat through that clip fast. Positioning and decision making becomes more important than ever using the SR. However, with smart planning, you can manage with this loadout. The key is having a plan on how you are going to get your ammo back, and that might depend on which sources you are relying on from map to map, from server to server. Ammo packs are the first source you probably thought of with this loadout. A small ammo pack refills 2 bombs, a medium refills 4 bombs, and the large refills 7 bombs. If you find that an ammo pack was already taken, that just means you have to wait at most 10 seconds for it to respawn. I noticed in some positions that I like to play from, it became harder due to the lack of nearby ammo packs. This forced me to reposition in spots with easier access to ammo packs. This might have come to the detriment to the engineers on my team, as I might have stolen a couple ammo boxes from them. Yeah, sorry about that one, Nuparu. I try to pick up ammo boxes that the NG might not need, but if I messed up placing bombs in setup time, that might mean having to take an ammo box from my NG setting up, or just not having all my bombs set in time. So I needed another method to regenerate ammo beyond just taking the ammo boxes around the map from my teammates who might also need them. And I had an idea. Players on death drop a medium ammo box. One idea I focused on was trying to chain kills together and using the ammo packs dropped to refill for the next set of bombs. For each kill, I could get 4 bombs back. 4 bombs that could be clumped together and then get the next kill to get another 4 bombs back. Keep in mind this is being managed across multiple spots and that I didn't need to use exactly 4 clumped bombs together all the time. I just needed to secure kills and hope no one steals the dropped ammo box from me. If I could make this work, then I'd free up more ammo packs for my NGs to use. And the more ammo our NGs have, it helps open up a new ammo source for me. Another very useful resource to have was, well, a dispenser. Level 1 dispensers could help me regenerate about 1 bomb per second, but if the dispenser was level 2 or 3, we are looking at about 2 bombs per second. These numbers could be higher though if multiple dispensers were stacked together. So if there were 2 dispensers close to each other, might as well make sure they are super close enough that you can stack health and ammo onto a player. Though the downside at times was it may force everyone to centralize around one spot, and depending on where that spot might be, it has risks. Look, I'm the local SR main, so consult your local NG mains on what is best in terms of dispenser placement and defer to them over me on this topic. The real huge benefit of having this dispenser was it allowed me to play in certain spots that were not as heavy on ammo packs. I did notice that if I had a choice between a dispenser or an ammo pack, I'd defer to the ammo pack because I get more bombs instantly versus the slower regeneration. Ultimately, because engineers are pretty common in defensive situations, the combination of the ammo packs plus there's probably going to be a dispenser somewhere were the 2 big things that really helped me in defensive situations when using this loadout. However, what about the offensive situations? Well, the engineer class can help me when I'm trying to use this offensively, but engineers on offense maybe aren't as common. It is, however, the enemy engineers who could really help me here. Destroying enemy buildings can provide ammo back. Specifically, each building part provides the equivalent of a medium ammo pack. This meant in offensive situations, targeting and NG building became more important. It also meant the lock and load could provide more helpfulness with that extra damage to buildings. There was also another source on offense that could be real useful, though it is game mode specific. The payload cart. Refilling at 1 bomb per second, the payload cart provides a consistent source at all times, assuming the cart is reachable. And finally, if you're near spawn, you have the resupply cabinet. So those were all the important ammo sources that I tried to focus on using. And now we're going to try something new. I'm going to break down a couple of plays that occurred throughout this adventure to kind of give you guys an insight in what I was thinking in those moments. This is kind of a test run for a future idea I have, so let's see how this goes. So on offense here, I'm about to push up and there are 2 things I'm going to try and focus on. Trying to immediately sticky off the one way they could walk up to me, as well as trying to throw a couple sticky bombs for them to walk into on their back line while my team pushes them back. So I throw the couple sticks back there and their demoman's just going to walk back into there with their soldier. I do miss the heavy here, but my team can clean it up. But the idea is I'm trying to throw sticky bombs near or behind the enemy so that when they retreat into them because of the pressure from my team, I can just det the bomb. As you can see here, because I don't properly protect myself against the soldier, I almost died, but once again, the cut-off sticky bombs kind of saved me for a misplay of not placing sticks there. Some main takeaways when trying to push with the Scottish resistance on offense is think about placing sticky bombs to protect yourself when pushing, but also look to just throw some bombs at the enemy, but not directly where they are, but try and look for spots they may back into if you guys try pushing up as a group. In this next clip, we're basically only working with a small ammo pack as my only ammo resource. And in this moment, I'm trying to keep track of where all the enemies, where they are, and what I see. So I see the medic, I see a sniper in the upper window, and I also see some people trying to play point. The challenge is trying to cycle through all of them and just not paying too much attention to one at one given moment and trying to cycle through them all. Just shifting my mouse around, trying to look at the different spots, seeing what bombs I can add on my limited ammo. Something that also helps me is not just looking around with my mouse, but just with my eyes. I am not always just constantly looking straight at my crosshair. Sometimes I'm pointing my crosshair at one direction, but I'm looking at the top of my screen for something else. I kind of scan my screen as much as I scan around with my mouse, and that's what kind of helps me go for those flick plays on certain people. As you can see here, the ammo capacity problems aren't really that big because we got an NG dispenser right next to me. And Uber's about to come up, and what's going to happen is I'm going to try and look for the people who aren't Uber to try and get them. I almost get the soldier with the first trap, but he survives, but goes immediately to the cart where I finish him off with the trap over there. And now while I'm trying to reset a previous trap, you're going to notice that I'm able to quickly flick down and get a soldier at another trap down at the bottom of the ramp. The reason for this is once again scanning around with my eyes even though I'm pointing and shooting during that downtime while I'm trying to relay the trap. I'm using my eyes to scan my screen for anybody else walking into any other bombs. I then get their medic who somehow ends up behind us with this bomb, which you're probably wondering why do I have bombs here? Well, here's a lesson in using the lessons you learned after you last died, in which I wasn't properly paying attention behind me and I got killed by a spy, so when I respawned, I took a mental note of I need to be more careful looking behind me. And earlier in that life, before that Uber play, I did actually get that spy back even though I couldn't save our NG and I got another spy in the process. So here's a situation where I'm trying to make adjustments based off where things went wrong the last time. So yeah, those are just a couple of quick examples I wanted to show off to kind of give you guys a bit of insight into my approach on things. Hopefully it was somewhat educational, because I kind of want to try and do this again in a larger capacity. So if you're interested in that, be sure to like and subscribe, because that's going to be an idea down the line. I guess now I should probably answer the question, what was the point of doing any of this with the Persian Persuader? So why do any of this? Well, there is nothing in the rules that say I can't use a challenge loadout once in a while. But more importantly, I've been thinking about the nature of 12v12 pubs and how it relates to the Scottish Resistance's ammo capacity in general. Specifically, the impact the plus 50% ammo capacity that adds an additional 12 bombs compared to stock. How helpful is having the additional 12 bombs in the grand scheme of things? Or are there just so many available ammo sources to work with that the additional 12 bombs kind of feel irrelevant? While having the extra 12 bombs can be really useful as there are just some really good positions to hold from that don't have as clear ammo sources, I feel like in 12v12 pubs, there are just so many ammo sources available at any given moment that you should be able to manage. And if you really can't because there just never seems to be an ammo pack anywhere or an NG dispenser, how much uptime are you really saving with those extra bombs in reserve? I mean, 36 to 7 is a very noticeable drop off in uptime, but what about the uptime drop off from 36 to 24? Is it as extreme? What is truly lost if the Scottish Resistance got rid of this stat? I'm not saying they should do it 100%, but maybe as a test to see where the limitations lie now. I mean, it's always better to have an extra 12 bombs in your reserve, but in the right circumstances, 7 in reserve can feel like 36. And with the Scottish Resistance being so popular on defense, a situation that can come with plenty of ammo options, I feel like the extra ammo capacity isn't that impactful. I ultimately feel like I need to try this out for myself to formulate a proper opinion, but at this time, I'm feeling like the extra ammo capacity isn't that impactful. I mean, I guess I could just play on fish stick on a sticks rebalance server with this loadout. The ammo capacity penalty is only 18 instead of 7, which 18 is closer to 24. It also makes it so that ammo packs fully refill your ammo reserve, so it's not accurate, but a rough estimate of how things might go. And I mean, the stock sticky bomb launcher seems to be doing just fine with a maximum ammo capacity of 24. I also might be underestimating the importance of that extra ammo capacity for newer players compared to somebody like me, but I feel like with small adjustments, everybody should be fine. Maybe the unintended consequence I'm not realizing is how many more ammo packs I'm hogging from the rest of my team with those 12 less bombs, so there's a lot of factors that could be in play. Maybe all the more reason to give this experiment a shot. And once again, not saying that this is a mandatory change, but do consider this if it truly is an irrelevant stat. You could always consider removing it down the line if you really wanted to add something to the weapon that could be more impactful. But let's save the deeper topic for that in the future. Do I recommend using this loadout? Not really. In the grand scheme of things, this loadout didn't feel as special as I thought it would be initially when I was doing the intro. Sure, you need to be more aware and account for the lack of ammo, and it could be a good lesson in being aware of what your different ammo pack options are. But if you found yourself in a situation with plenty of ammo options, then it's just using the Scottish Resistance like you normally would. I was kind of hoping this loadout would be harder for me to create a more interesting video, but maybe that's also just me, so I would say if you are newer to the weapon, maybe avoid this option at the start. Especially since it also does cut the amount of grenades you have, which honestly was a bigger problem than having less reserve ammo for the SR. Hopefully though, this video can serve as a reminder to all your ammo pack options in game, as well as maybe start a conversation on what is truly gained by adding an extra 12 bombs in the ammo reserve. Or maybe this was a good chance for me to break down some clips of mine to try and give people an idea what is going through my thought process. And if you watched till the end, did you notice how many Persian Persuader kills I got throughout the video? Comment down below with the exact number, and there's no reward, just good job. At the end of the day though, I guess even on limited resources, you can build yourself a solid setup. Okay, maybe we did need to zoom out.